It's one of the animals that's actually very similar to a human.
See, and I want to kill a human too. I just have to figure out what country will legalize.
I know what country's gonna issue tags first. More?
Discount code BMAC.
Yes.
Podiumarcher.com.
If you're still here, like and subscribe.
Absolutely.
You're like, oh yeah, there's plenty of room. We're good.
No, I would love to. There's no way. After coming back from what I just came back from, no way.
I knew you wouldn't. My goal today was to shame you into it until you give in.
You can harass me about it on the pod all you want. Yeah.
Well, if you really want this to grow, Brandon, we have to promote more.
We have to promote more. You have to travel.
Be here in the morning, get in the truck, and we're driving to PA.
Oh my gosh. I'm so happy that you found this for me.
Yeah.
King Cobra's back on the menu, boys.
I found it the day before the grand opening, but I was like, well, we have all this other beer around here.
Oh, yeah. You got all the boozy bitch from
that you quite enjoyed.
Dude, I loved that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to I'll find it and I'll link it below. But yeah, the custom beer that was made for us. I'm so bad with names. I always forget names.
Yeah.
I always feel bad about that. Oh, the swear jar is fresh and renewed.
Fresh
ready
and clean.
to go.
It looks a little dusty. We need to clean that off.
It's because we haven't been throwing money into it very often.
Well, we've gotten a lot better about the profanity.
The I know. It makes the editing job so much easier.
Something about an 8-year-old little girl coming up to San Antonio wanting to interview you. And I'm looking at her eyes and I'm going, I bet your dad turns on my podcast, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I need to stop saying. I really do.
I mean, it was interesting, like watching James at James. There was a lot of kids that would come up to James and like. I feel like parents are purposefully not exposing their children to us. That sounds weird when you say it that way.
Distinctly could be.
Yeah, mainly because maybe we,
Well, I could start saying ridiculous swear words like James does, like "oh geez, oh Pete, Martha." Isn't that or something?
It works with his accent. It's so funny. Oh geez, oh Pete, Martha.
Yeah,
it's so ridiculous.
But I guarantee you that's why. Like he probably took into account I need to not swear. So I need to work on saying other things. It is shockingly good.
So good. How is this not more popular? The value that you get out of this sweet drink right here.
Yeah, I bought 4 of these and I still had change left. I could have bought a gallon of gas with my $20 bill.
Typically what most people are doing with the spare change from buying the King Cobra is buying crack.
You are right. Oh, I forgot to send you this. I sent it to a couple people this morning when I was sitting in the hot tub, but I didn't send it to you. There's a TikTok from... oh God, what's his name? Shane Gillis. When he was on Saturday Night Live. Yeah. Have you seen the one where is the new medication that he's taking is a couple of beers?
Oh, a couple of beers. Yes. Yes.
When you get to the side effects, is that you're tired?
Yeah.
So it's with the other one's just a bump or something like that. It's cocaine. It shows like this little plate starting to sag down, and he gives him just a bump, and it rocket shits up like.
Dude, his SNL performances are hilarious.
So
man.
good.
Do you ever watch Kill Tony?
Yeah. Yeah, it's very good.
Dude, I've been locked in on the Kill Tony lately, man. It's so funny. It is so offensive.
Yeah.
You think our podcast is offensive?
Oh, it's not. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
It's so bad. No, I think, one of these times when I go through Austin, they're probably going to be playing, and I might be able to sneak my way into that.
Dude, that would be so epic.
Because I've not actually watched it live. I've just seen it on YouTube and whatnot, but it is hilarious. And I get why it's traveling around the country and selling out arenas. I mean, it's funny. It's like so legit funny.
Yeah, I think it's great. Yeah.
But the other one that Gillis had where they're doing the news, and there's 2 white anchors and 2 black anchors, and they're taking they're describing what's happening. And they said something about somebody broke into a store. The black people are like, "Oh,
that's your guy. That's your guy."
It's so good. They're stealing meth. It's like
See, that's the cool part about what's happening with comedy right now is I feel like we finally made it through all the woke stuff, and now we're coming back.
Thank God. I mean, a lot of the comedy never stopped. Like they never gave in, and I mean that's part of why Rogan moved. It's because they weren't going to stop and wanted to go somewhere where they thought they'd be safe. And now they've turned Austin into a huge freaking entertainment area.
It's like a giant mecca for comedy.
Yeah, like the stuff that people who are leaving LA are going there, and it's like, oh God, just remember how you voted and how it turned into what it did. Please don't.
They
won't. They'll still.
Yep. That's what's going to happen. But like the fact that mainstream, I feel like SNL coming back, that's a really good bellwether for like, okay,
Yes.
This is acceptable now. 2 white people and 2 black people anchors making racial jokes. Like, we're back.
We're down 3-1.
We're back, everybody.
It's like, oh God.
I love it.
Oh, it's hilarious. It's so good.
So all right. I'm super jacked because we have not talked about what happened on both of our bear hunts.
Deliberately.
Yeah,
it's so painful because it's like the first person I want to call and tell my story to and whatnot, right? And you can't. You're like, nope. It's got to be an authentic go.
It has to be an authentic first conversation. So why don't you give a summary?
Well, no, you have to go first because you killed your bear first. You see, it's in timeline.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. That's fine.
I think I started hunting before you did, but you killed your bear first.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
All right. So I'll give you the goods. I may overlay some footage. I'm trying to decide because obviously this will be out on YouTube, but it should be out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
I like the should be part. It's like, I got to figure out how to do
No,
that.
I just have to commit and just do it, man. I just have to commit and do it.
It's done. The commitment's been made.
The commitment's been made.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I will talk about my bear. I'm going to go back just a little bit farther.
You should talk about the excursion to get there.
Well, I'm also going to talk about I'm going to give you a brief history of why this bear means so much to me.
Okay.
And I might cry.
I have a small amount of knowledge into that, so I'm excited to hear this.
Yeah. Well, you were part of the start of it.
Yes.
So my first black bear hunt that I ever did was in Idaho.
That's when we first met, actually.
Yes.
In person.
Exactly. With Tim and Dan.
Yes.
And you were supposed to go do some of that hunt stuff.
Yeah, my schedule got screwed up, like story of my life.
Of course.
And I couldn't take off.
Yep. So basically what ended up happening was...
that was the universe trying to put us together back then, Brandon.
Oh, look at that. We should have listened to the universe back then.
I should have.
All right. So...
I think, no, I was still married back then, so I couldn't hear past that.
Do you think your ex-wife watches this podcast?
No. No way, ever. No, never. Not. I bet you she's never turned on a thing I've made in my life.
How sweet. You should divorce her.
I did.
All right.
That's 3.5-ish, almost 4 years now.
I'm proud of you. That was about that same time that we met then.
No, that was before that.
Or slightly before.
A couple years, I think.
Okay.
I think. Or a year or
you
two
might.
in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just remember. Yeah. What? Well, let's not go that way. Okay.
distracted.
All right. Okay. So bear. So what happened with the first bear that I shot? Spot and stock. Sort of. I was sitting at 100, and when the bear came out to the bait, I stalked into 50, and then the bear started getting all like fancy with me, and so I shot him frontal at 50 yards. And it turns out, when you're referencing a bear or a barrel,
the Kula Bear target from Reinhardt.
Exactly. So I end up shooting the smallest bear on the planet. That's just not a straight cub. It was so small that I literally, when we found it, picked it up and threw it over my shoulders, guts in and everything, and hiked up the Idaho hills to pull it out.
So good.
Yeah,
You killed Boo Boo.
it felt so stupid. You know, like I literally flew back with all like the head, the hide, the claws, and any of the meat that could have worked in a small Yeti soft side cooler that fit in the carry-on. All right, I am shamed. I feel shamed.
It's going through the screener, and they're looking at you like,
Why did you do this, sir? Why did you kill
a small
raccoon? So, all right, that's bear one, and I feel like it about that slightly. So, all right. Bear number 2, I go to Manitoba. It's my first year there. Big bear walks out. This I feel worse about. I don't know what ended up happening. I shot the bear low, and we weren't able to recover the bear. So I shot him. Basically, I think what I was doing was the panic of like, okay, lower 1/3, right behind the shoulder, like typical whitetail deer mentality that popped into my head when a big bear walks into the barrel, after you've been sitting for a few days.
I have a theory what else could have been in there, but because I did that once too, and I figured out why later.
I'm super curious to hear about that. Like the psychological thing for me, and I'll get into it with the bear that I got this year. The psychological effects of bear hunting it's like buck fever times 50 for me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I want to keep talking about it, though. So that bear, another camp ended up recovering a few weeks later. So that bear made it to another bait site and was shot off that site. And the it was a different outfitter, and they were in contact with ours, and they were like, yeah, it had an in and out. It was low through the ribs. Like, it may have just gone under the lungs, but they were like, we're a little surprised because it was a full in and out and low in the body that the bear lived, but it lived. And then somebody else was able to harvest it.
So I did that once, did not find it, never found it. And my cousin was hunting with me. We actually filmed it. It was one of the first ones I've ever filmed. And it was just like with your phone for fun, right? We weren't trying to actually make a video.
Yeah.
And watched it back like 6 or 7 times and realized that I wasn't accounting for how much hair was under his belly.
Exactly.
So I looked at it all like a body. And because of that, when I was proportioning bottom third, I was actually the bottom of his belly and shot him basically just above a brisket.
Yeah.
Would be, right?
So it's probably like almost exactly the same shot placement.
Yeah.
So, but in that moment, like just, again, psychologically being able to tell yourself, this is where your arrow needs to go, not right here.
Yeah.
In that moment, I wasn't able to do it. Like, I think it was kind of the same thing. I was sitting in a ground blind. It was really late. I was also wearing a mosquito net. Didn't realize how bad that would affect things.
Oh yeah, I'll do it.
In a ground blind as the sun is going down. I'm not making excuses, by the way. That's not what any of this is for. This is, to me, it's just learning.
Yeah.
It's like the bears.
If you don't talk about what circumstances surrounded it, how's anybody listening from this going to learn from the mistakes that we made?
Right.
Like, it's amazing how dark it is in ground blind. It's wild, especially on the west side. It's like pitch black in the middle of the day.
And that was kind of what it was. And then you add the net, and then you add like you've been sitting in the blind. I think we'd seen one other bear that day, and so that was cool. Like you're kind of up, like you're paying attention. It's not like you're totally asleep. But then the big bear walks in, and the heart boom 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 starts going.
Yeah,
and then the panic of what do I do? All right, my story gets worse. Okay, so. Last year, we go back to Manitoba, so that's my second year going to Manitoba. And I end up having a small bear come out, immediately identify. It's late in the week, like we're hunting the very last week of the season last year, and we're seeing just nothing for bears. Like they're just
the rut going on.
Yes.
Yeah, that's bad.
Well,
you have to be on a bait that has a sow on it, or you're not going to see any.
Yeah, and I don't know if we just weren't on the baits with sows or what the deal was, but mine that came in that I ended up shooting was a little boar who ended up trying to come into the tree with me a couple of times, and I basically had a long enough sit left that I was like, I'm not messing with this bear for 3 more hours. Yeah. And it's late in the week, and I just shot a bear, and he was not as small as my Idaho bear, but like. He was a small bear.
It's like Boo Boo's big brother.
Boo Boo's big brother. And so I felt like that was another one that I was just like, I got done and I was like, damn it, Brandon. Like, it's cool. Like, made a good shot. Bear died. We, head, hide, meat, that kind of stuff. That all happened. But the goal, the intention was not, I'm going to shoot a small bear. The intention was I'm going to wait and I'm going to get a good bear.
Right.
And then it became in the moment, like this moment of weakness is what I perceived it as.
Oh, okay.
And so the theme for this trip was kill a big bear, like a good bear, a mature bear, the kind of bear that you actually want to take because of all the reasons for conservation and then all the reasons of pride, all the reasons of hunting, the reasons of selecting, the reason that you bait a site so that you can see multiple animals and you can choose what animal you are going to try to take, which means you are purposefully leaving other animals out.
Right.
Purposefully. You're not sacrificing in the moment of like, we haven't seen anything this week. I'm just going to shoot this one. Like, that's not going to happen. So it was shoot a big bear, get scratched or bit, or go home empty-handed.
Okay.
That was the theme. And so we get there opening, it wasn't opening day, but it was the first day of the season up there where they were actually allowing hunters to come in. There's like ice on the water still out there in certain spots. Like it was still freaking cold. Like the first 2 days we were there, it was sub-freezing by the time we came out of the stand. Like it was gross. It was gross. And we were seeing crap for bears because they'd baited once 5 days beforehand, and the bears were just starting to kind of move.
Gotcha.
Just getting out. And so the first day we saw 2 bears. Second day, 0 bears. Third day, 0 bears. Fourth day, I saw 1 bear and Josh saw no bears. So it's going to be confusing. This is Josh, MFJJ. My buddy that goes and hunts with me in Manitoba is also Josh. I will refer to you as MFJJ in this podcast and him as Josh.
Are you allowed to have friends that don't start with the letter J?
Everybody's mom in the 70s and 80s was so not creative.
Not creative at all.
It's still so good. So basically, the panic starts ending. Not panic. The disappointment and the frustration and the like, oh man, why are we not able to make this happen? Like, what are we doing wrong? Are the bears smelling us? Are they seeing us? Are they noticing us? What's happening that they're not coming in? Mm-hmm. And Josh sits this one site. It's called the zoo. He sits it for 2 days in a tripod, 18 yards from the bait. Mm-hmm. And both days he sees a bear in the distance that doesn't come in. And then on camera, we have a very nice bear coming in every night at midnight, from midnight to 4 a.m. He's just hanging out. He daylighted once before we got there. So he daylighted once and at like 10:30 in the morning for 30 minutes, and that's it. So Josh sits that site twice. And then our outfitter was like, okay, this is the best bear that's in here. Like, this is the best bear that we're seeing anywhere. Or one of you guys needs to continue sitting this.
Yeah.
And so I said, all right, I guess I'll sit it. So, but we need to change something because something's happening where the bear is coming in, seeing somebody in the tripod or seeing somebody in the ground blind and not coming in because they had a history with the bear the previous year of the same thing happening where basically there was multiple hunters who sat for the whole week trying to get the bear. Never happened. Gotcha. So what we ended up doing was pivoting. The wind was basically coming in at an angle that I angled off of the wind. Instead of being directly downwind from the barrels, I was off angle from the wind.
Gotcha.
And then I was on the ground, not in a ground blind, not in the tripod, but we left the tripod up and pulled it out more into the open, actually, because what we thought was if he could look up there and see that there was nobody in the tripod,
better chance of him coming in.
Chance of him going, okay, I can smell something. By the way, we're just guessing. I'm personifying what a bear is like to the 9th degree because there's a chance that I just got freaking lucky and he just happened to walk in based on none of the. He could have walked in if I was sitting on the bait barrel. I have no idea, but it feels like we did the right thing. I sat on the ground in a ditch line, so I was basically behind a berm that covered me up to my knees-ish if I was sitting down, so I guess up to my waist. And then we stacked brush in front of that, created a hole that I could shoot out of, and then I was really covered back behind me by a lot of real small pines with just a lot of crap on them.
Yeah.
I also felt there was no trails that were coming through there, so like I felt safe.
Safe he's not going to walk in on behind you?
I'm relatively safe about that. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So cut to the chase. Don't see on day one of me sitting there was a little small chocolate bear that came in for 30 minutes and I had the temptation because she was so pretty and she was chocolate. I was like, man, but she was literally the same size as the bear I shot last year. And I was like, no, you can't do it.
I cannot. I cannot do it. Cannot do it.
So I'm sitting the night it happens. I'll take you to the night it happens. So I'm sitting in my chair. It's 7:45. So I've been in since probably 4, got in like a little earlier than normal that night. And it gets dark that we're pulling out of the blinds around 10:45, 11 at night.
Gotcha.
So it runs late because we're so far freaking north.
Yep.
30 minutes past shooting light plus a little bit. That's when we're coming out. So it's been so dead. Like your mind just starts to wander.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sitting on the ground in the open, so I'm not putting an ear pod in listening to Rogan under those circumstances. I want to hear what the hell is going on around me.
Sure.
So just raw dogging life, just sitting in there.
Which, since you mentioned that, I've been real curious if animals can hear your AirPod. Like an animal that's got really good hearing. I wonder if they can hear it. I really have, because I've noticed a difference if I'm listening to something.
Hunting?
Yeah.
Or elk.
If I'm listening to something or not. I think they can actually hear it.
Maybe
somewhat.
They hear some indiscriminate
faint thing, like, what's that?
That's interesting.
I do, because I noticed the difference. Like if I've gone where I'm like, I'm not listening to anything, I'm not pulling out anything, I'm not watching anything, I'm just silence.
Yeah.
And it seems to show more activity when I do that.
Fascinating.
So I was just curious. I don't know. Man, so maybe there's somebody out there that's like super scientistic-y smart listening to two dumb eggheads talk about archery. They can comment down below on, can they actually hear that? Is there like a decibel thing? Is there a way you can know for sure? Because I've noticed a difference.
Interesting. By the way, if
granted, I had something going when the bear that I eventually showed up.
But bears aren't notorious for having amazing
They have
hearing.
good hearing, not amazing hearing.
They have solid hearing, but like to hear an AirPod from 20 or 30 yards away, you would expect that maybe a deer or an elk, which has fantastic hearing, might be a little more dialed in.
Yeah, and an elk, that's going to be a harder one too, because they're normally not alone and they're normally making a lot of noise.
They are making noise.
They're making a lot of noise. Where deer are silent, typically. They make little to no noise.
Yeah.
Just curious thought, not to sidetrack.
No, it is interesting.
Since you mentioned the not wearing an AirPod.
What we're talking about is beating an animal based on their senses. Correct. So it makes total sense. By the way, if you're still here, like and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at @BrandonMcDonald_archery. Follow Josh at Podium Archer. And use discount code BMAC at podiumarcher.com for 10% off all your purchases. Everything.
It's not everything. It's not everything. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's flat a lot.
By the way, stick around because we are going to talk about the Bowtech Virtue in this podcast. And and the fun couple of issues that I had and why.
Or do we save issues for the next podcast? Because we can hunt. We can probably drag hunting out for an hour.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Because we both hunted for quite a while.
A little round two. Okay. Yeah. All right. So yeah, because we're not even to the start of my bear coming in. By the way, I'm dragging this out on purpose. Not dragging it out. I want people to understand and feel like the weight of the moment that I felt, because it was a goal that I set years ago to come in and do something that I hadn't been able to do.
Yeah.
And after shooting the big bear and wounding him, I thought about that every freaking day. I thought about it every single day because I thought, what are you going to do to make yourself not do that next time?
Right.
And that was a big deal for me. Like that's the worst, most egregious, like wounding under those circumstances that I've had. And so
I know a large bear has been high on your list of importance for a long time.
Yeah, it has been. And I don't know why. I can't explain it, but like it's still one of the most interesting, amazing animals to be near. Like it's fascinating to me, and I don't know why. Because some guys get ate up with turkeys.
It's one of the animals that's actually very similar to a human.
And I want to kill a human too. I just have to figure out what country will leave.
I know what country's gonna issue tags first. Yeah, right? But no, it's like they're human like. They're very much human like. If you watch them, how they move, how they act, how they eat, like they act like a person a lot.
Oh, I don't like that.
I know it's messed up.
No,
it's messed up. But I remember the first time I caped one out and looked at it, was just like, ugh, that looks like a dude with very short legs. And a long belly.
All right. So I'm sitting in the chair, 7:30, and I hear the unmistakable crunching directly behind me.
Of course.
In the ditch line that I am sitting in. So now the ditch line is wide. It's probably 20 feet wide, and it kind of goes down, and then the road goes up on the other side. Yeah. But it is the unmistakable, like every deer hunter feels this way. When you've been listening to squirrels swirl the leaves all day, and you kind of go, was that? Or they drop an acorn out of the tree, and it's bouncing, and you're like, what was that? And then the deer starts stomping in.
And it's totally different.
And it's so obvious.
What it was. Yeah.
It's so much different when it's a big bear, because the big bear he can't be quiet. He's too big. And so it's instantly, and you can see it. I've got the GoPro on me when it starts happening. When I start noticing it, you can see my harness. Boom, 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 boom. Dude, my heart rate goes from resting heart rate to like 140 because he's behind me.
Sure,
and
of course.
I'm on the ground.
Yeah. You gotta eat me.
Well, I mean, so instantly...
I'm a bear kebab.
Instantly, the thought process starts going, why is he behind me?
Yeah, like we set this up on purpose to where he can't be behind me.
Any of these other places, he's not supposed to be right there.
Yeah.
And he's walking closer, and you can hear the heavy... They're padded feet, so it's not like hearing a horse with hooves coming closer.
Yeah.
But he's popping sticks, and he's shuffling leaves, and it's... so nerve-wracking. And all I'm thinking is he's going to make it to a certain point and he's going to bust. Yeah. Like that, like he's going to wind me hard, and he's going to go, I'm out, and I'm not going to see him.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to catch a glimpse of him in my peripheral vision because I'm slowly moving my head around so that I'm not moving drastically and I don't have enough room to turn with my bow.
Right.
I've got one, I'm in like
you got a window and that's it.
I'm like exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to get a shot if this guy comes this way. And he moves close enough that I think what he was doing, he was directly downwind from the barrel and I couldn't see him. He was behind the berm. There was a couple of just like undulations. But every once in a while, when he would breathe hard, I could hear him breathe hard. Like so that's how close he was.
That's awesome.
As the excrement is slowly leaching out of my butthole, I don't think that's $1 in. I think butthole's okay to say. Okay,
you can change it.
So my thought then became, as he started walking away, he hung out for like 15, 20 minutes behind me, by the way. Just kind of sat there.
Yeah.
And again, I'm going through the psychology of what's he doing? Is he trying to hear me? Is he trying to see me? Can he see I can't see him. Can he see me? So I'm just dead ass still. And I'm holding the Bowtech with I've got it in my lap with the freaking stabilizer across my leg and the cam on the inside of my thigh. And I sat there like that for 3 days and I've got a bruise on the inside of my thigh from the freaking cam because I can't set it down. I can't put it on the ground because the leg limbs and all that. I never ordered them, and I should have. It was whatever.
They don't make one for that.
I know, but I could. They make third-party versions. I could have made some stuff up.
Yeah, you could have retrofitted something.
Yeah,
I probably would have.
I should have. Going back, I should have. So, all right, Bear starts moving out. He moves away from me, and what I'm just hoping that he's going to circle and go hit the bait. But then I also start thinking there's a lane in front of me that's probably 20 feet wide. If he just comes into that lane and then goes to walk in the bait, he's going to cross 15 feet in front of me where this opens up. So the heart rate continues to stay elevated because I'm so freaking nervous that I'm going to have a very close encounter with this guy and he's not going to know I'm there. Now, I do think that black bear, their tendency, if they've got room, I scare him, he runs away. It's not like a grizzly where I scare him and he just...
Yeah, no, they're not going to... No, they're afraid of you. They're not...
Right.
They're not...
Yeah.
You're not a food source.
Right.
You can be, but it's if a black bear attacks you, it's probably because he doesn't know what you are, would be my guess. Like he can't identify what you are, or you startled him and he feels threatened, or you're in between a sow and cubs. And that's it.
Yeah, and the sow and cubs is a very clear one. Like if sow and cubs would have come in, I would have instantly started making noise and ran them all off.
Yeah.
Yeah, from far away. Like I would have seen them coming down the lane and be like, "No, don't come to the site, bitch." But I'm also bitch. Okay, thank you.
That one counts.
But I'm also thinking, okay, inside everything to me is going, hey, you should not be doing this. This is dangerous. You're making a poor decision. This is a risky life decision.
It's a black bear.
It's a black bear. It's fine. It's no big deal. You're right. Nobody
it's
ever
a black
gets...
bear.
Yeah, okay.
It's a black bear.
I'm just telling you what's going on in my head. You can ignore my feelings if you wish.
Brandon, this is from a guy whose dad made him walk out of the woods by himself from bear baiting up in a tree after dark with no flashlight at 11 years old. It's a black bear. It's not going to hurt you. I eventually got to where they do not scare me at all, period.
Well, you're lucky because I'm still not there.
Like I'd be on the ground at 5 feet with them with a big rock in my hand going, are we going at this? Like, because they're just,
okay, now I just think you're an idiot.
They're scared of you. They're scared of you.
They are clearly afraid of you. And we saw it multiple times throughout the years going to bait. And I have gotten much more used to the fact that they are going to walk under your stand if you're in a tripod, and they're going to go and they're going to sniff you and they're going to be interested in what you are. So if you are black bear hunting, the odds are you're going to be close to one at some point.
Yeah. Sure.
I don't care who you are, unless you're an idiot, that's still intimidating and it's still nerve-wracking. Because when you kill one and you grab those paws and you try to spread their rigor mortis body open and you grab one of those paws and you feel those claws.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, it is so...
Rip you right open.
They're unbelievably capable. The amount of muscle on these things is insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
100%.
All right, so bear works his way around and I get lucky. Because what he does is the next thing, 10 minutes later, I just see his head pop out at the barrel. And so I've got a really small window, and I've got 2 cameras set up. I've got my one camera with the 24 mil lens, and then I've got my 100 to 400 going in 120 frame for that's slow motion for non-camera people. I wanted a backup just in case something happened, and I wanted both perspectives.
Gotcha.
Which I got lucky because one of the cameras overheated and did turn off.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, no kidding. So he pops out, and long story short is he's super timid at the bait. He is so timid. He knows something's up. He just can't figure it out. And
and he is the big bear of the spot, right?
It's the big bear.
So like any other bear but him would act timid, period, because they're afraid of him.
Right.
But if it's him, yeah, he knows something's wrong.
It was him. And so
he knew something was wrong.
So this bear that had only shown up in the day once, that the guide and the outfitter, like, he could be full of shit. He could have been like, yeah, oh my God, what a great hunter you are. You did an amazing job. He's been showed up last year. Nobody was able to beat the bear, but you did. You know,
I have a similar story.
I know. That's why I kind of said that.
That's
like,
funny.
I feel like that's kind of a thing that an outfitter would say, like, you have the biggest penis ever. Congratulations. So
that's just what the hot girls tell you. Wow.
Yeah.
Way to go, buddy.
Exactly.
Is penis a swear word? I don't think it is.
No, we're good. We're
That's
good. I'm not even going to bleep it out.
anatomy.
I'm not even going to bleep it out.
Yeah, you're good.
Yep. So he bounces in and out of the bait site 5 or 6 times. And at one point walks down the back trail, and I'm like, he's leaving. I didn't get a shot. Like, he's leaving. I'm never going to get him back. And then he comes back, and then he grabs that barrel, and he's closed off to me. He's messing with it with his left hand.
Did he grab a mouthful of food and walk out?
I don't remember. He was actually, we had poured powdered sugar all over the top of the thing with sour gummies, and he was pretty,
Sour gummies.
yeah, and he was pretty obsessed with that. So like, he got up there and he was licking the top of the barrel.
Yeah.
But then he decided to tump the barrel over.
Yeah.
So I don't think he grabbed a big mouthful of food and walked off. The little bears were doing that.
Yes. Now, that was the point I was trying to get at, is a smaller bear will grab some food, walk away, eat it,
and then
come back and grab another piece of food, turn around and leave.
Makes total sense. Because they don't want a bigger bear to come in.
They're scared of a bigger bear.
Absolutely. That makes complete sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we had multiple small bears. Well, over the past 3 years, I've seen multiple smaller bears and mid-sized bears come grab, like, the beaver, the primo, and grab it and then run off. And then 30 minutes later, slink back in for some, powdered sugar or oats or whatever the hell else we got going on out there.
Sure.
So I don't think he ever grabbed... And he was never cleaning out the barrels. That was the other thing that was odd, is overnight, even overnight, he'd be there for 3 or 4 hours, but he wasn't cleaning the entire thing out. I think that, I don't know what he was doing. Just owning the site, just owning the place.
Yeah,
he was a mature bear.
He wasn't afraid.
Yeah. And he was like I said, he was the one that you would want. So psychologically, I'm scared. Because my heart rate's still up, and I'm having irrational thoughts.
Well, of course you
that
are.
I acknowledge are irrational because he came up behind me, and then I'm also having like, this is the biggest bear that they have on camera right now at any of their bait sites. This is the bear that is standing in front of you right now. This is like, I'm Eminem right now. This is my one shot. I'm gonna.
Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime.
I hope not once in a lifetime, but it definitely came. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
there will be more.
I hope so. He comes around the side, and he gets broadside, and he starts messing with the barrel, but he's messing with it with the hand that I need to be out of the way. No, he's standing on that hand, and he's messing with it with his offside hand. So I need him to open up. I need him to do something to give me more of a shot.
Yeah.
But a draw. So draw the bow, Bowtech Performance, hit that funky thing, and then dip back into the back wall.
It's brutal.
That's not good. Even in the adrenaline moment, you could see it, like on the GoPro.
Yeah.
It's like, what'd you hit right there?
Yeah. I hit the back wall.
I hit the back wall and then the back wall.
I hit the Fergie in the back end.
So holding on the bear. And what I didn't realize was still how dark it was on the inside of that. Yep. And referencing the bear and then referencing my housing and my peep, I never do this. And I was both eyes wide open.
Yep.
I didn't even think that would be a thing. But I remember in my conscious mind literally being like, I have 2 completely independent pictures being fed into my brain right now.
Yeah.
This left eye is watching the bear for the opening. Yeah. I need that right arm to come up and do something to give me the opening on the ribs. And my right eye was literally like, housing, peep, green pin on the top. Housing, peep, green pin. And I have these 2 independent thoughts running in my head at the exact same time. It was freaking psycho.
I was gonna say, sounds like a disaster right now.
No, it was a psycho. And you, dude, and I'm holding and I'm screaming in my head. I'm screaming. I'm doing what Joel Turner sort of would want me to do.
Yeah.
I'm literally screaming. This is exactly what you wanted. This is exactly what you wanted. This is exactly what you had hoped would happen. Stay present, stay focused, kill the bear. Stay focused, kill the bear. I'm not saying pull. I'm not doing any of that. At one point, my thumb's on the barrel and I hear the click and it's not ready. I'm not ready. And I hear the click and I go, holy shit, get your finger off that trigger. So I back my thumb off and make very minimal contact with it. But I think if I wouldn't have had the clicker, I would have shot that bear in God knows where, or I would have lobbed it over the back of him.
Did you know you can re-engage the click?
No, can I?
You have to hit the button. So if you drop back, just hear me out. You're squeezing through to the click, and it goes click, and you let go of it. You can bring your thumb over and push the thing back in, and re-engage the click.
Right. At this moment,
so
with
you
all
know.
the other failures that were occurring inside my systems, shooting something with both eyes open, no, not going to happen.
I always have a little bit of openage, but squinty.
I did flutter my left eye at one point, and then the arrow goes off. I don't. Maybe that was just that thing that happened right at the last minute, but. Inevitably,
that's what's supposed to happen, so you can see through what you're aiming at. Like, you can't look through a pin unless you open your other eye. You know, you're supposed to look at what you want to hit, not the pin.
Yes.
Okay, so you can't do that with one eye open. You have to have both eyes open to do it, because your other image that you're seeing in there is showing you what's beyond it, and it makes it look blurry. It's like changing the focal points on your lens. It's the same thing your two eyes are doing.
I will have to play with that, and I'll have to experiment with it a little bit 100%. More. Yeah, but because what
all you gotta do is do this. Like, I can't see your eye. Oh, I can.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't. Oh, I can.
No, I agree with you on that, but I do think that mentally focusing downrange, once you kind of get anchored with one eye, I can mentally focus down there and then just trust the float. But there was no trusting the float on this one. Like, it was just.
Got that patented Brandon McDonald shake.
Exactly. I know. I got to work on that.
Oh, no, you don't. It works fine. You shoot really good that way. Who cares? It doesn't matter.
No, I don't.
It doesn't matter what it looks like if it goes off in the middle.
Yeah.
It literally doesn't matter.
Yeah, but I feel like, well, okay, we can talk about that more too, because obviously it would be interesting to do like a total archery challenge breakdown after this.
Sure.
But let's stick on Bear. He moves his right arm up and does something, and the clarity in my mind of there's your hole right there. There was a patch of skin that as soon as his arm came up, I said, that's where you need to go.
Yeah.
And I drilled the shit out of him.
Yeah.
It was money.
My man.
It was money. I buried
Notice how your life's turned around since I've moved here? Your archery life's totally turned around.
My life before you came was so bad. MFJJ saved my life.
Well, no, let's just be real. Like, you dominated the total archery challenge of our group, right? And you finally killed a big bear, and you just nailed him right where you wanted to nail him.
All right, I'll give you credit.
It has nothing to do. I don't get credit. It can be whatever aura floated around you, or maybe I made you pull your head out of your ass long enough to shoot your bow a little more.
Discount code BMAC.
Yes.
Podiumarcher.com.
If you're still here, like and subscribe.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you enjoyed that story that I just told.
How's recovery?
So I buried a 100 grain Beast Broadhead,
the Trump edition. Yeah,
I wish that. So I do wish that he would have used the 125 titanium and done it. I know you can't anodize it.
Can't anodize that.
Yeah, but I wanted to take one to Canada just for fun. So it went through the bear and buried itself in the pine tree behind it, and the footage is awesome. Like, because you just see the lighted knock and then that Trump head. And dude, I pulled the Trump head out and everything reset fine. It spins fine. Like, I could literally reshoot that thing. I'm super, super impressed.
Yep.
Recovery, bear runs 100 yards and piles up. I hear him not death moan fully, but a little bit of a death moan.
We should probably throw in that the titaniums are going to be available in 100 grain.
Are they?
Currently 125.
Okay.
And they're supposed to be shipping on June 1st.
Nice.
So that is an option. Since
I do want to talk about that. We can see how long this goes, but I do want to talk about the gear that we used, and maybe it's not in this podcast. Maybe we'll do a second one after this.
Sure.
Because I think that it'll be interesting to compare and contrast, and I do have some Bowtech stories.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
I do.
Did you use a bow that made you feel dirty? I sure did.
I have so many good little clips from the beginning of this podcast to spread in here. So good. So yeah, recovery was super fast. We were able to pull him out. The bear is unbelievable. So the crazy thing is, as we're skinning him out, we find a scar on his upper arm and realize that it is the same bear that 2 years ago, Josh, who was with me, hit with an arrow in his arm after dinking his cam on the stand because he didn't have his tripod rotated around enough, and he just missed, and he, I mean, a hell of a scar. So like that's probably the reason that the bear was so wary about coming in when there were hunters.
Sure, he got shot in there.
He got shot.
Yeah,
and I was able to freaking
kill
that bear, dude. It was so like when we found that, Josh's face when I pulled the skin, I was like, oh, he literally was like, oh my God, like the realization that same bear had stayed there, and it was the same bait site, the same stand.
Sure.
It was so cool. It was so cool. And after the week that we'd had of just like total nothingness, and then he got a great bear, I got a great bear. I caught a 42-inch pike, which is the biggest pike I've ever caught. Like, it was just epic, dude. It was everything that you would hope a hunting trip would be, but it's everything you would hope would be because I did stuff like Wyoming, where you spend $12,000 and go shit the bed and do nothing. And then all these other hunting trips that you spend so much time and resources going out, and then like, nothing. And then you do this, and it was just like, yes, this is my Super Bowl.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's so good. I'm so happy you got a big bear finally.
Thank you.
Because you were shooting little bitches so bad.
I felt horrible
about it. It's not that hard. What's going on here?
No, it was. It was not hard for me. I said, all right.
That might have been karma kicking me in the ass when I was like, well, this isn't hard. What is the problem, Brandon?
I know.
And then, oh my God.
All right. I want to hear your story. All right.
So I was hunting on the Quinault Indian Reservation in, which did you say where you were?
Manitoba.
We're in Manitoba.
Deep into Manitoba.
Deep into Manitoba. Okay. Yeah. I was on the Quinault Indian Reservation in Washington State, which is technically a sovereign nation that is not in Washington State. Like, you can draw a line around it, and this is not the state. It's their own thing. They're
bizarre.
Tribal.
Yep.
Right. So they have different laws. And they get issued a certain number of bear tags in the spring that they can guide people on. Anybody can come in and pay X and go hunting. So I was hoping to originally do the Alaskan trip where you fish throughout the day and then you go hunt the shores in the evening.
Yeah, via like go up the boat.
Yeah, like you stay on a boat. Yeah. They bring the boat into shore and then you get out and try to shoot a bear off the shore. But apparently that's gotten really popular.
Well, Dan and Tim
Dan
did
it, and I think Meat Eater did it. A couple of them have done it. That it sees it really publicly. And for what you were paying, it's like, well, that's just a little bit more than going to Alaska to fish for halibut. Like, so why not go shoot a bear?
Right.
If you're into hunting, right?
In a cool way, too.
In a very cool way.
That's a really cool way to do it.
Yeah, very cool way. So I was pretty excited about that. So I called my buddy Jared over at Huntin' Fool, and they're like, dude, they're all sold out. You're not going to get in no matter what you do. It's like 2 years out.
We need to book it now.
Well, no, I know. But off camera, we'll talk about that differently. So there's...
Okay, good. All right.
Well, reserve that for later.
Okay.
That's one I would love to do, but I think we need to do a little more research. But regardless, that wasn't an option. So I called my buddy Gio, who is my Sitka rep, Crispy rep, etc. Honestly, one of the most impressive hunters you'll ever meet. He's killed probably more than 500 deer in his life.
Was he the dude that you and Tim had on?
Yeah.
That guy was awesome. That interview was super good.
He's incredible. We can get him on. No problem.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
I'll convince him to come down here. Actually, I bet you he'll be down here for SCI. Would be my guess, because he hunts everywhere. The guy's like, I think the only guy who's killed a mule deer in every state that allows it. They actually harvest a mule deer. 17 states.
That's amazing.
Yeah, the guy's just a flat killer. He's got that aura about him that it just always works, and you're just like, what the like, oh my God. Like, we went my Midland, thank you. My Midland hunt last year was with him. Like, there's this ranch down there that he pretty much books out the whole thing throughout people he knows. So I told him, like, hey, last year was my first year of, I'm going to pay to go hunting somewhere. I've never done it. Like, I've never actually spent money out of my own pocket outside of a tag to go hunting somewhere. And I just told him, hey, if you ever, I know you hunt all over the freaking place. You get a deal, an opening or whatnot, give me a call. And he called me like 2 weeks later and he's like, hey, I got a management hunt in Midland. Here's the dates. Do you want to go? I was like, yep.
Yeah, and your management deer were
No,
ridiculous.
this was management. This was not the other. You're thinking that's a different place.
All right.
That's a totally different place. But yeah, the management hunt was a legit management hunt. But I'd never paid to go on a hunt anywhere. So I was like, oh, screw it. And then gave that a whirl, went down there, got to know Gio really well. I mean, I've known him business-wise, but I got to know him personally a lot better.
Yeah.
Developed a relationship with him. So when I knew he hunted on the Quinault every year. So I called him. I was like, hey, can you get me on the Quinault this year? I wanted to try to shoot something in the spring because I had made a decision at the end of this last year that I was going to film my hunting. Even though I told myself I'd never do that. I'd never do that no matter what. I was not going to do it. And Jeff made me do it, basically, is what it boiled down to. And so I was trying to find something in the spring to put together to actually film something and get my feet wet a little bit. When I was hunting with Dan, which that's the hunt you're thinking of, the management deer hunt.
Yeah, the 160-inch management deer.
Well, that one wasn't that cost me money. That was not management. But the other one did not.
Oh, the 145 didn't
cost
you money.
Yeah, the 145-inch 8-point was free. But anyway, the sorry, just lost my brain for a second. I called Gio. Gio's like, yeah, well, you can have my spot this year. It's like, it's full, but you can have my spot. Like, because I'm busy anyway. I was still going to go and try to figure it out, but because he goes every year. It's like, but you can have my spot. It's no problem. And hooked it up with them, talked to them about it. Rented an Airbnb on the coast, which was cool. Like you could,
oh, yeah, nice.
Every morning you wake up, you're brewing your coffee and looking at the ocean.
Dude, that's sick.
It was cool. So the morning ritual was get up at like 7, not super early or anything like that. Brew a pot of coffee. Some days I went down and walked on the beach. Other days I just, muddled around the house and whatnot because they pick you up at about 11. And you're staying in the just south of the reservation, and they pick you up and drive you into the reservation and put you on baits. They are really religious about what they do. I don't mean it in a godlike way. It's just they have a discipline of what they're doing every time.
Do they have a check-in? Like, is the res, like, are you driving through a gated entrance or something like that? Okay, all right.
No, it's just the reservation. You just have to have the appropriate tags, and the guides get issued tags, and then they can sell them and take people out.
Yeah.
And the guides I went with had 11 total for the whole season. And it was about an hour-ish, give or take. Well, first of all, it's like a 8-hour drive from Spokane. And if I remember right, I flew in the night before. Oh, no, that morning. I came back from here. I was here, flew back there, landed at like 10 o'clock, and by 1 o'clock, Jeff and I were in the truck driving across the state.
Yeah, you travel like an idiot.
I do. Well, you can clearly tell that traveling's new to me because I do some really dumb shit. I really do. And drove all the way across the state. I think we got to the Airbnb at 9 o'clock at night after we stopped at the store and bought food because you got to prepare your own food. The guiding service is just taking you to a bait site and bringing you back. You're responsible for everything else.
And they're baiting the site.
They're baiting the site.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So got food, whole bit. Made a bunch of breakfast burritos the first morning to throw in your pack or whatnot, have something to eat.
Yep.
And they took us out, and we sit down, and I've got the Mohawk in full glory. Jeff and I are both sitting in a blind. I sent them over a couple of my gray light blinds ahead of time so they could put out products for the company that I own and try to film out of it, right? Yep. And I'm sitting this direction, Jeff's sitting this direction. He's got a camera in front of him. I've got to like point over the top of him to shoot out of the blind and him catch it on film. And the first day, only a little, I think 2 different smaller bears came in and out the whole time, right? And they drop you off and they pick you up. They drive right in, pull you right out of the blind.
So when you say they drive right in,
they drive a vehicle right to you.
They drive a quad or a side-by-side or a truck?
Like a 4Runner or a Tundra.
Like within...
Drive right to the blind.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's in their timberlands.
Yep.
And they all identify with Fish and Game where their baits are, so they're not overlapping each other.
Yeah.
So no one's going in there but you.
Yeah.
And it's an old logging road, and they clear out the logging road to wherever the bait is, and then make a turnaround. It is funny
though that they like decided that they're gonna but I guess it doesn't matter. I mean, like obviously big bears are still willing to freaking come in there when the.
Well, so they have a ritual. Like I said, it's almost religious. They play music. They turn the music up in the car, roll the windows down, open the door.
Yep.
Play music the whole time they're in there.
Yep.
So animals can hear that they got there.
Yep.
Right, and they drive off.
Yeah.
They put bait out in the middle of the day. Period.
Yep.
And they shove logs in the barrel.
Yep.
So they got to pull them back out so birds don't get in there so much. And then they spray some like vanilla cover scent everywhere. Like spray it on the blinds, spray it on the trees, spray it around everywhere.
Yep.
and spray you up and down with scent killer and vanilla spray, which we should have a scent killer discussion at some point just to see what your thoughts are on it and your curiosity.
We tried some stuff.
Yeah, my buddy Dave did a really thorough test, and he's got me kind of convinced on one particular one. Works a lot better than the others, but regardless, but we should probably save that for another one.
Yep.
Anyway, I'm doused head to toe, and nose jammer also all over your clothes and in the blind. Spray it out.
Which nose jammer, by the way, you could use as cologne. It smells very nice.
It's a very nice vanilla.
It smells
if
like
you want
a baked
vanilla,
good.
Yeah, if you want a vanilla cologne, you're doing pretty good.
Yep.
So anyway, sit there the whole day. Never see a big bear. They pick us up, head back, same spot again, and it was worse the second day. Like saw one bear, and that's it. And the big bear was coming in every day. And if the big bear doesn't come in, this is another interesting thing. Like they bait when they drop you off, and they pull the bait out of the barrel when they leave.
Really?
Yes. That was one of the things I was going to say that's interestingly different.
Yeah, no
like
kidding.
They put bait out and they pull it. Like if you're not, then it's just bread, right? So
but they're mandating basically when they're telling the bears, they're training the bears.
They're training the bear that when we drop this off, you better get in here.
You better get in here and eat it. Yeah.
Yeah, and in general, it does work quite well.
Sure, that makes sense to me.
So we hunted that one for 3 days, and on the third day, Isla was taking us in, the lady, and then Mitch took us in the third day with Isla, and pointed out that my hair care shit smells. Like I'm spraying my head with scent killer.
Did he smell
he's like,
your
he's
hair?
like, dude, I smelled you when you got in the car. And I couldn't smell it, and Jeff couldn't smell it. But, maybe he's just that good about it. But in any event, so then
That's hilarious.
Then they're on no more hair care, wash it head to toe, scent killer, and put on a beanie or whatnot. Because it was kind of cold and rainy.
Yeah.
It's the coast, it's the Olympic Peninsula. And for those of you listening all across the country, if you're a Twilight fan, I was only like a half hour from where they filmed Twilight.
Oh my God, that's unbelievable.
But if you want an idea what it looks like that. It's dreary, it's gray.
That's amazing, though.
The ground's literally spongy. Like almost like with all the moss and whatnot. Like, and you walk, you can like not hear shit.
Yeah,
because it's just all soft, and the timber like decomposes super fast when it dies.
Yeah,
and we were trying to grab a pieces of wood to prop the bear head up after I'd shot it. Couldn't find anything that wasn't like rotten.
Yeah, everything just kept
just crunch like shit. So anyway, sit there for 3 days.
The Goonies, the Goonies, the site too, right?
No, that's Oregon.
Oh, who did I talk to about that?
Not me.
Not you.
Goonies is Oregon. So if you go to where Oregon and Washington meet on the coast where the river comes in, because that's where the Columbia comes out, that's Astoria. And Goonies was based in Astoria, Oregon.
Who the hell did I talk to about it? It doesn't matter, but I talked to somebody last week about it.
Yeah, wasn't me. Sorry. It must have been another friend of yours with the name of
Mohawk
Jay.
MFJJ. Another Josh with a mohawk.
So anyway, day 3 now. Don't even see a bear. Like, oh, God. So we pull everything, take us to another spot, and put us up in. At this point, they're like, "Do you have to be in a blind?" I'm like, "No." I was trying to because I wanted to get footage out of products that I sell, right? If I could, but no, I don't have to be in a blind. So they put us in. They put me in a tree stand and Jeff in a climber behind me on the 4th day, and sat there the whole day. Every time we're sitting, it's like 9 to 10 hours, right? Because it gets dark at 9:30, and they're dropping us off at like just before noon or just afternoon.
It's a
long ass sit, dude. It is a long sit. Sit there relatively quiet, and I was really surprised because everything seemed to be doing good. Like the wind seemed to be doing good. We're both off the ground now. We're not on the ground. Jeff, however, is only like 6 or 7 feet off the ground. I swear. He's like, I was way higher than that. I was like, dude, I could come over and grab your tree stand. What are you talking about?
So could the bears,
and
Jeff.
if you've ever been in a self climber, have you done self climbers?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It takes like a technique to figure out how to climb up it. Then it's not too bad. But if you don't get the technique, feels like the worst workout you've ever done. Like, oh my God,
and
why
he
is this so
couldn't
hard?
get it up fast.
I didn't see. I turned around. I got myself situated because there was a ladder stand, but it's kind of narrow for like, it had 2 seats in it, but there's no way you could shoot out of it with a bow. You'd have to turn sideways out of it to be able to shoot a bow out of it, so 2 people couldn't sit in it.
Yeah, and they set it up for rifles, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, but it's also like 20 yards or 25 yards, like super close to you.
Yep.
Anyway, sit there almost till dark, and like a half hour before dark, we hear this crash, 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 and there's a bear climb up the tree like 20 feet from Jeff. So the only thing I can assume is maybe he must have smelled us and ran up the tree, and then down and like was there for 5 minutes, went down the tree, ran away.
Did you
like,
hear him
fully.
at all when he came in, or
no.
did you hear him just when he
No,
was
like I said,
zipping
the
up
ground's
tree?
so soft.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah.
can't hear them coming.
Oh,
the only thing you hear is the
crazy.
birds breaking, making all kinds of fucking racket, but they're up in the trees, right?
Yep.
So they're breaking branches and things like that,
Yep.
and making the right.
Yeah, the ravens, man.
Yeah.
Those wings go by.
All kinds of birds were all over those things. But in any event, he bails out. Nothing ever actually came into the bait. And this is day 4, and I'm starting to be like, God, do I suck at this, or what's going on? Like, I've hunted bears since I was 10. I've never had a problem. And they have a really high success rate. It's rare that somebody doesn't kill a bear in there, right? And so now it's rolling around to day 5. Jeff isn't feeling well at all and hasn't been. I don't know, and he's not sure what's going on. He's trying to figure it out, but he has just been feeling sick and has been since here.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So
Did he get a tick on him?
couldn't find one,
Okay.
but
Oh yeah, he felt really bad.
yeah, like he left the night before we went to the airport and went to the hospital, and they couldn't find anything wrong with him. But and he took some antibiotics and whatnot, and that didn't seem to help. And in his defense, he's been on my crazy travel schedule since Tennessee Tech. Anyway, so we're coming back off the 4th day. He's like, hey, just leave me at the house. Like, we got 1 day left. If you can set up a camera to be able to at least catch the shot and throw a GoPro up to hopefully catch you shooting it, I've got enough B-roll. Like, we can make the whole thing work.
B-roll for
we got
4
B-roll
days.
for days, man. We got tons of B-roll, so it's fine. I'm like, all right, cool. So they, I'm trying to remember what the 5th day was where they put me. I don't know. I'm drawing a blank. It was, they put me in on another bait that we hadn't been to. So during the 5 days, I went to 3 different baits. And this one was me and a self-climber, and I got about 12 feet, 15 feet. They had like a spot where they already had hooks and stuff in it. So you just climb up the self-climber up. And I sat there for, once again, another 10 hours, 9 hours or so, and had told myself that, look, you're paying a lot of money. Well, I shouldn't say a lot. It's kind of cheap compared to like most hunts you'd go on, but it's like you're paying money for a hunt. Do not shoot a small bear. And I understand you're trying to film it, but part of the purpose of me never wanting to film something is I didn't ever want to compromise what I was doing. Like, if you're trying to get something on film, there's a good possibility on the last day you're just shooting a smaller animal because you're just trying to get it on film.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe.
I'm not trying to shame you there,
No,
buddy.
no,
I saw like your mood and demeanor just change all of a sudden. Like, I'm not trying to make you sound bad, dude.
Maybe. I mean, that could be it. That could be.
No, I've known a lot of people who've done it. Like, over the years, a lot of people that have made professional content have been through my store. Like, I've known them personally. I've known them a lot, and they do that. Like, we got to get something on film,
Of course.
right? So you compromise your desire to be as successful as possible to just be successful. And I told myself I'm not shooting a smaller bear because they kept giving me this guideline of like, if the bear's back isn't above the barrel, don't shoot it.
Yeah.
It's not a 400-pound bear. And we have 350 to 450-pound bears around here. We just do. And any place we're going to take you has one there. So don't shoot anything else underneath it, or you're just not killing the big bear on the site. And the last day I was there, this one bear kept coming back in, and it was almost to the top of the barrel, but not quite. And it stood there just waiting to get hammered, just waiting. And I got the GoPro right over the shoulder, pointing down. I'm just like, this would be so easy right now, like so easy. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing it, because it's an hour before my last light. It's like there's still time. Like, a big bear could show up in the last hour, and there's been a big bear consistently showing up here. So don't do it. Which it's hard. It's hard to sit there and go, yeah, it's probably a 300-pound bear. It's not a small bear.
No.
But it's not a 400-pound bear.
Yeah.
And it's not nearly as big. So I'm like, I can't do it. I want to, but I can't. Right. So I said I'm going to eat it no matter what. And sure enough, they came in, picked me up, and my 5-day hunt was over with. Oh. And I didn't shoot anything. Oh. Yeah. And next morning, you pack everything up. I told Jeff, hey, like 7 o'clock, let's get out of here and drive back, because it's going to take all day to drive back. And coming out, I told my buddy Gio, he's like, I didn't shoot a bear. He's like, what? I'm like, no, I just never saw a big bear. He's like, he texts me as I'm driving home. He's like, they'll let you come back. Just ask. I was like, all right. So I texted him, and Aya, and I think it's Aya, or it's either Aya or Isla. I'm not sure. Sorry. They're
seems like Aya may make more sense for a Native American than Isla.
Yeah. I don't know. That's probably Aya. I'm pretty sure it's Aya.
Okay.
That's how it's in my phone. I saved it. But she's like, yeah, I'd rather have the tag filled. was like, all right, well, let me check when I'm coming back from San Diego, because I had to get home because I had to fly down to San Diego for James's gig, and my dates were done. Originally, I was going to go earlier and changed it to where I'm just going the day before, or the Thursday before his shoot.
For the Bow Disciples Challenge.
Challenge, yeah. So get back home, film a couple of things, knock a couple of things out real quick, check in with everybody, repack everything up for that, fly down to San Diego, do the Bow Disciples Challenge, all that. Told him I could probably be back over there for hunting Tuesday, if that was okay. And they're like, yeah, we don't have anybody this week, so you're good. So I found an Airbnb for just me. I was like, I'm not taking Jeff. I'm not doing anything. I'm just going by myself. Like you said, we got enough B-roll. All you got to do is get the shot. So I'm like, all right, cool. And once again, he's not feeling well. I'm like, just stay home. Try to figure out what's going on. And I land at, he was with me at Bow Disciples. Our flight got delayed a little bit, like an hour. And we landed at like 12:30 and waited for our luggage, put it in the truck. And this is 12:30 a.m. that morning.
Yeah, no, I always assume the worst when you tell me this stuff. Yep,
well, I'm in Spokane. It's terrible. It's not freaking Nashville where there's 17 flights a day from every place in the country to get here. But yeah, so by the time I took Jeff home, unloaded stuff, got home, and went to bed, it was 2 a.m. And I got up I think I slept in till like 7:30, 8 o'clock. Got up, went down to the shop, chatted with the guys, loaded up stuff in the truck, and by noon I drove back over to the other side of the state again. 8-hour drive, stopped at 2 stores, grabbed food, went to an Airbnb, which this was a duplex, but it was a 1-bedroom duplex with the ocean front, or secondary lot, right? So it's the opposite side.
Yeah.
And when you walk out the front door, there's this tunnel cut through these bushes and whatnot to walk all the way through and walk right onto the beach. So every day I walked on the beach for like an hour, went for a walk on the beach in the morning with a cup of coffee, and just took it all in. I don't know what it is about the ocean, but it just draws you in. I don't get it, but it kind of makes you think you're from the ocean or something, because there's like this weird obsession with it that it feels soothing no matter what. And it could be the repetitive noise in nature and whatnot, but I think there's something bigger than that.
I'm with you.
There's definitely something bigger than that. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense why every person I've ever met, when they get in that situation, is like, oh, all right. Anyway, it was super cool just from that standpoint. And granted, it's a tiny little town. There's not much there. There's not a whole lot of reason to go there other than to walk on the beach. But I got to walk on the beach every morning. I actually got to walk on the beach that night because I got there before it got dark, and made a little mixie and went and walked on the beach for a little bit. Came back, went to bed, got up, coffee, beach, and then I literally had all my clothes laid out on the porch. Like there was this big long porch with a railing over it, sprayed both sides for scent control.
Okay. All right.
Sprayed both sides of everything, nothing in my hair, had unscented everything. Took a shower an hour before I cooked food. Everything's inside. All the food, all the clothes are outside. Like everything I can possibly do for scent control. Because that's the last thing they say is like, scent control is the only thing I can tell you. Like, I don't know if they're smelling you or what's going on, or it's just bad luck. Sometimes that's how it works.
Sure.
And you traditionally have the worst luck. It's rare. Like that whole Dan thing was a fluke. Like I usually terrible. Just everything that can go wrong will go wrong in my scenarios. But, like double-sided sprayed everything, sprayed my boots, took out nose jammer, doused all the clothes in nose jammer, left everything out on the porch, cooked food, aired out the house, got in the shower, washed everything down with no scent, washed my hair, pits, the whole bit, right? Didn't put anything in my hair.
I love the idea of you cooking naked, just like you're in this Airbnb.
No, I was not naked. I was not naked. That was inside clothes. That was inside clothes. You can, for those of you who want to pretend like I was naked, go ahead. I don't care.
Like and subscribe.
Any event, I like 15 minutes before they're supposed to pick me up, I go out on the porch, I put on all my clothes, have everything sitting outside, and I'm sitting outside waiting. So I did not put those clothes, never went inside until I had a dry bag that I'd put them in if I needed to bring them inside overnight. So when I'd get back when I was done, take off all my clothes, put them in the dry bag, shut the dry bag, bring it back inside. So there was never any scent subject to those clothes, period, other than ocean waves, which the whole thing's on the coast. Like you have ocean scent everywhere. And so I go and sit the first day, and it's now just over a week later, and you add 3 minutes a day. So now it's getting dark. 23 minutes later than it was. So now it's later. But they're still taking you out at the same time. So you're sitting almost a half hour longer.
So long.
Again, it's so long, man. And I sit and they take me back to the place. I want to say it was the place we went. No, it wasn't. It was, it was the place we went. I guess it was the place we went the first time. No, it was the place I went the last time.
Where you did the climber? Because your last one you were in.
I'm trying to remember. No, it wasn't that one.
No, not the climber. You were in the double.
No, they took me to a place I hadn't been. They took me to another place I hadn't been. And they had set up the 2 blinds that I had sent and left them set up for 2 weeks and brushed them in really heavily. Where before they were kind of putting them out a little early, like just a day before.
Oh, yeah. That's a way bigger deal.
Yeah, I think so. But regardless, like the 2 times I sat in tree stands, didn't matter.
Yeah.
Right. So, and climb in there, sit the whole time, did everything right. I even got in there and just doused the inside of that blind with nose jammer before I got like sprayed the chair, sprayed everything. I'm like, I'm doing everything under the sun. And I didn't see a bear.
Like, oh my gosh. This is brutal, dude.
Like I'm in the car driving back and I'm like, I'm this close to giving up and feeling like I can't do this. Like this is supposed to be like easy.
This is a gimme bear hunt.
This is supposed to be a gimme bear hunt, and I'm not seeing anything. And then it's like, well, the rut has started, so if there's not a sow anywhere in here, the bears disappear. So there's no guarantees, right? And like, I get it. So the next day, I sit and I go to, I think it was the same spot. Yeah, it was the same spot. And finally, I started seeing bears, and I saw bears early, right? And I saw 2 different bears, and I had cell service. So I'd like send pictures to them, like, hey, which one's this? Which one's that? And, how they're acting, and they ask questions and that kind of thing, And the second bear that came in there was almost at the top of the barrel. Like it was close. And it would so it had the logs pulled out, and then it would put like its hind leg on a log. And then it would be at the height of the barrel. And I'm sitting there with my binos going, trying to look at his foot and going, is it on the ground? Like, no, God damn it. And so I'd send her a picture, and she's like, nah, it's like that's the 3rd biggest bear in there. I'm like, all right, fine. So, and I've only got 4 days this time. And I've got 4 total days I can hunt because my Airbnb was till Friday because I have to come home by Saturday because Jeff did everybody gets to pick my bow for PA, and we haven't built it yet. So I had to build that bow that weekend. Right. So, and so I'm wanting to kill the first fucking bear I see so bad. So I was like, because I got to drive all the way home. That's going to be a day. And then I've got to build this bow and sight it in and tune it and get it tape printed before I'm on a plane Monday at 5 a.m. to come here. All right. So I'm really hoping to tag out early, get through the second day. Don't shoot that bear. Try to talk myself into it. Didn't do it. And it did everything right for me. Right. It was just like, of course. It's just like, oh, just take me home. Here's my shoulders forward, and I'm going to sit like that while I'm eating. I'm going to sit like that while I'm eating for a minute. And they're like, oh, God, you're killing me. And so now we're on to the 3rd day, and they take me to another site, which is the site that Jeff and I both sat in tree stands at. All right, so now I'm back at one I've been in before, but they put the blind out and had it brushed in, thicked in, like really good. And get everything set up, sitting in there, and I saw a bear at, I think it was like 5, comes in, and it comes in from right next to me. And so it looks huge. Right?
Doesn't that freak you out, though?
No.
It doesn't freak you out.
No.
Dude, my
Brandon,
gosh.
Not a bitch.
Listen, if you're a bitch, like and subscribe.
No, if you're not a bitch, like and subscribe.
No,
or if you're either way.
I think
either way,
the majority of people, that's the thing.
Scary,
I think 90% of the population is going to have a black bear walk right by the blind and go, and everything's going to pucker.
Brandon, I was in a state that I live in, and I have a concealed weapons permit, and I didn't even carry a gun. It's like, I'm not scared of those things, and I'm tracking bears without a gun. Now, my guide Mitch,
I think you're stupid.
My guide Mitch is strapped.
Yeah.
he's got I think he had a SIG on him. But anyway, first bear comes in, feeds, doesn't act skittish. So I'm like, okay, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Because if they're not acting skittish, that typically means there's not a bigger bear in here.
Right. I own the barrel.
Yep. Right. And I was like, it's weird. So I'm sending pictures of it to Aya, and she's like, it's the 3rd biggest bear. Like, okay. Whatever. So, and once again, it was close to the top of the barrel, and they had not given me pictures of the bear that was in there. That was the biggest bear. Because normally they're like, here's the picture. Here's what he looks like. Here he is next to the barrel. So you have a good comparison of scale, right? And I want to say 2 different bear came in And the first one was noticeably smaller. And the next one was like, that's a pretty good sized bear. Like, and it was like, oh, right. So right there, like that much off of the top of the barrel. And I messaged it and I'm like, hey, which bear is this? Because like it's super close. And they didn't say it was as tall as the barrel. They said it's a big bear. And I'm like, well,
that's a big bear.
They're deceiving.
It's still a big bear.
It's very deceiving. And by the time they got, and I didn't shoot, and they weren't replying to me. And by the time they replied back, I said, no, it's a tall bear, but he's not heavy. That's not the big bear.
Okay.
So it was probably not going to be a lot taller, but long legs, and it hadn't filled out yet. It's like, that's probably a next year shooter, but not this year. Hadn't put on the weight yet because they don't hibernate over there because it doesn't freeze. So they feed all year. So they get exceptionally big for the what do you call it?
The equator.
The equator plane.
Line?
Yeah. How close you are to the equator. The farther up you get, the bigger they get. Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So, in any event, and I expressed discipline, and I mean I've recorded both of them. I got the camera in front of me. I'm off to this side of it. The GoPro's right here. And I've turned both on, and I'm just like, oh man, I'm just because when I went hunting with Dan, he was trying to get me to record it, and the first day I didn't take my camera equipment with me, and I shot both those deer on the first morning, so I didn't record anything. And he's like, I'm like, sorry, I didn't know. We're on 2 hours of sleep. I grabbed my shit and got in the truck, but. Any event, that one left, and I had told myself if that bear comes back, I'm going to shoot him because I would really like to get home tomorrow because that gives me all day Friday to drive. Because if I didn't, I had to check out of the Airbnb Friday morning, and I could still go hunting Friday night, but I would get done at like 10 at night and then have to drive home.
drive overnight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
And
suck.
I really didn't want to do that because I was already tired. It's like, this is not a good idea. I'm going to get like halfway there and fall asleep in a rest area or something like that. So in any event, there's like an hour-ish left of light, and here comes a bear in from the right, and it walked right in, didn't stop, and I didn't have to message anybody shit. I was like, that's bigger than the barrel.
Just
I stood right on, yup. So I immediately turn on the camera, turn on that, go down and sensitively adjust my ISO because it's a little darker. It's like, oh, I felt like I'm doing my job. He's laughing so hard because I don't know how to use a camera very well. And they're trying to teach me, and I'm trying to learn, but I'm still a moron when it comes to this stuff.
Well, it's also the fact that, like, most people, the focus would be on the bear, and you're like, wait, it's not bright enough on my camera.
I'm going to hear about it from you and
exactly
Jeff.
Right.
Like, Jesus, what are your settings?
It adds an extra layer.
It's a pain in the ass.
It adds an extra layer of complication that makes it that much more exciting and enjoyable to try to do.
I agree. It
makes it harder.
I agree. Ass is a first swear word. Yeah, it is an absolute pain. Like, it really is. And it heightens the level of stress of the whole situation. Right?
Yeah.
So I got everything on. I hold my bow up in front of me, and I had to slide out in the chair just a little bit because my stabilizer was going to hit the camera because I'm filming out of the same window. But he comes in, and he is quartering hard, and he's looking in the blind. He's just staring at me. Before I turned anything on, he just
how far away was the blind?
28 yards.
28. You're back.
I requested 28 yards.
Okay.
It's like if you set these things up, put it at 28 yards.
Okay.
To me, that is my ideal distance to shoot something out of a blind or a tree stand.
28.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can get into that if you want.
No, I love that. Honestly,
there's a logical reason.
I freaking love that idea.
There's a logical reason why that's the exact ideal distance.
Okay. All right.
In my opinion. But anyway, he's sitting there quartering towards me, and he's sticking a paw in, eating it, and just quartering towards me. Then he like sticks his head in. When he sticks his head in, I turn the camera on. I got that on. And turn back and watching him. He sticks his head in again. I go up and I adjust the ISO a little bit. So I'm like, fuck, that's too dark. I need to brighten that up a little bit. All right, go back. I haven't even picked up my bow yet. And he's back looking at me again. And he sticks his head in the barrel. I pick up my bow. I bring it up in front of me, which this is a Prime Form 34.
Okay, Prime Form 34.
Yeah.
Because okay, all right, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he sat there for a while quartering towards me. Like I'm not picking my bow up. There's no point. Like, I'm not shooting this angle. I won't.
Mm-hmm.
Just won't. And eventually he gets comfortable and turns sideways to the barrel, perfectly sideways. But he's sitting on his ass.
Yep.
When he's eating, and then he leans forward and he picks up his arms when he leans forward, so he uncovers his vitals, gets food out of the barrel, and he sits back down and puts his arms right over his vitals, like that. Like, son of a bitch. Right, and then I keep looking at it. I remember that video, and I think you showed it to me of the bear's anatomy and where the lungs are and whatnot. And I'm going, those lungs go back farther.
They do.
And I kept looking at his ribs when he'd get up and down and up and down. Eventually, he's sitting there, and I'm like, There's a window about this big that's the back of his lungs when he's sitting down. That is not covered. That is not covered
for this.
So I was like, I can shoot that fucker. He's sitting down because he wouldn't cover. He would not cover. And he was doing the same thing. And this is like 10 minutes, at least.
Yeah, he'd hit his rhythm.
Yeah, he's
and
just
you're
he's
worried
in
he's
there.
going to walk off too. He's going to eat a bit and then he's going to just leave. And
Yeah,
you're never going
he's
to get a
turn
clean
around
shot.
the way he came, and I'll never have gotten a shot. And this is, and I was like, I really want to leave the night, or I really want to leave in the morning, because then I can go to bed, I can get up, I can meet them with my bear, and then drive out.
And it's the right bear.
It's the right bear. Finally, like this is around 80 hours of sitting before I saw a single bear that was the right bear to shoot.
Yeah.
Not like, oh, he came in, but he blew out. It's like, nope, never saw one. Anyway, I finally get committed that I'm just going to shoot him when he comes back and sits back down, because he's doing this and he's coming back. Yeah, it's like every 30 seconds to a minute, right? And I kept looking, and I literally pulled up my binos and looked at it, and I could see where his ribs are. I'm like, there's 2 inches. I can squeeze 2 inches in there. So
it's the philosophy of James' life right there.
That's
I can
James'
squeeze
life.
2 inches.
It's like,
in
I
there.
know James would try this. I'll do it. There's 2 inches of room. So he leans forward to get in the barrel, and I draw back, and I literally bump the camera with the stabilizer, so I sit out a little bit more, anchor in there, center everything up, put the pin on, thumb over, and just start pulling. And shot him that way. And I hit right at the back of the lungs, just barely. Probably ran 100 yards, give or take.
Yeah.
Maybe a skosh more. And everything in there is super thick, right? But other than the height they're at. Like the height they're at, it's actually pretty open. So you can run a long ways and you're not busting through anything. So I heard like crash, 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 and then nothing.
Yeah.
And so I text the guide, and like, just sit in the blind and wait for an hour. Like, we'll be there in an hour. Do not get out of the blind. Do not go look. Do not do anything.
Sure.
And then they texted me when they were at the road driving in, and I got out then.
Because they want to make sure, just like deer hunting, they want to make sure you didn't wound it and the bear went 100 yards or 150 and bedded down.
Yeah. Yeah, they're trying to gauge the situation.
They don't want you to push them further.
Don't push them. Yeah,
absolutely.
So in any event, I get out, and there's still like an hour of daylight because it's like getting dark at 10 now at this point. Get out when they texted, pulled all my stuff out of the blind, got up there, go up to where he's standing, and the ground's so wet you don't really see blood very well. Because everything's wet. Like, everything's wet. And I look up in the trail that he ran off on, and I see my arrow. And I hit him. It was perfectly broadside, and I hit him just at the back of the ribs. And I saw my arrow still in him when he ran off. And I shot a Mega Meat 100 grain. And I did that because I just seen your images of a big mechanical broadhead, full pass through. Dan had shot a 400-pound bear like 3 days prior with a Whitetail Fury Evolution. So it's a 2-inch plus mechanical broadhead, full pass throughs. And I'm like, and I was going to shoot one of those Annihilator's new katana.
Yeah,
little two-blade, little tiny little thing.
I'm glad you
I'm like,
didn't
this
do
is
that.
dumb. I'm glad I didn't do it too.
Yeah.
It's like, this is dumb. I'm going to pass through this animal. For those of you that haven't hunted bears, they are very easy to penetrate. Like
it's because the bones are very thin.
The bones are thin. The skin's thin,
and they have so much muscle. But the broadheads don't have an issue seeming to cut muscle.
It's skin.
They hide and then bone.
Yeah,
and they have very thin bones. Yeah,
yeah. So it seems that you seem to pass through them no matter what. So I went and grabbed what I consider the worst penetrating broadhead made. That puts the big ass hole in things.
Yeah, the Mega Meat.
Like, the Mega Meat's terrible.
Or the Whitetail Special from Grim Reaper.
I disagree. If you get the razor tip Whitetail Special, that thing penetrates really good. It just doesn't do it. It doesn't do an entry hole. So the razor tip Whitetail Special opens inside, so it goes into the skin and then opens.
It's horrible penetrating broadhead.
Brandon,
I've shot tons of deer with it because it's awesome.
Did you do the razor tip version or just the
regular one?
That's the difference. The razor tip, it's got blades on the tips.
It's got a little. I've seen those.
Yeah, so it penetrates really well. I shot both of the big bucks I shot in Texas was that broadhead, and I passed through both of them.
I would still shoot almost. Okay, let's not go down this route.
Yeah,
we'll do this one.
This has already been pretty good. Let's finish this up.
We'll do this in the next one.
All right, so anyway, I get up there. Mitch is up there. He's in the front, and he jacks around in his handgun, and here we go. and I'm carrying my camera, and this is how inexperienced I was. I still had my long lens on. I didn't bring another lens.
No.
I couldn't record the recovery at all. I'm like trying to stand back in the dark, and I'm like, fuck. So there's no real recovery. Sorry, but I did get the shot. on film, and it's all good. And I haven't looked at the footage of either. They're still in the cameras because I haven't seen Jeff. He was already gone to Pennsylvania because he's got family there, so they went early.
Yeah.
And start following it, and I'm looking around. I'm like, this looks terrible
Because there's no blood.
because there's no blood other than there's like a chunk of meat on a tree like 10 yards down the road, but outside of that, nothing. And I'm like looking around, and Mitch keeps going, blood. 30 seconds goes by, blood, and he's standing up with a light.
And he doesn't care. He's probably like, this is fine.
No, he said the blood trail was great. I'm like, what are you talking about?
You're just used to other animals.
Well, they also, most of the people that hunt with them are guns. So you're usually just following a trail that you think they went on, and they're not too far down it. But we went a ways down there. It was at least 100 yards, I think. And I think it was about 15, 20 yards before. And I can't remember if Aya went to Mitch or Mitch went to me. Mitch went to Aya and said, you smell him?
No
and
kidding.
I smell like, I do smell him. I can smell a bear because they have a distinct smell. If you've ever gotten around them too much, you know what a bear smells like. In any event, it was 15, 20 yards from him, and he goes, dead bear? And so like, yes! And then I got up to him and like, holy fuck, he is big. Like it's the biggest bear I think I've killed. I shot a bear with my buddy Greg once, just randomly, called him Stumpy, he had a bad foot. That was big. But I don't think he's quite as big.
Nice,
so I think
dude.
it's the biggest bear I've ever killed. He had a broken jaw. He had a broken jaw and like a growth in his head.
Wow.
Yeah, my taxidermist has it, and he caped it out, and he's like, "You would not believe this is the coolest. This is gonna be the coolest skull you've ever seen in your life."
Dude, that's amazing.
It doesn't look anything like.
Just like super
wild.
gnarly bear.
Yeah, and they actually they keep a long rope in the back of their truck. And he pulled a rope in and had like ropes that we looped around his feet. And Mitch and I drug him back to the rope itself and pulled him out with the truck. So yeah, it turned out great. And it was like, ideally I was like, please God, kill one by Thursday, because I do not want to have to drive by Friday night. Ended up having to wait till like 1:30 the next day, 1:30 p.m. to leave and drive back. So I got back at then I got back to Spokane. By the time I dropped off my meat to my butcher and back to the house, it was like 10 p.m. And Saturday and Sunday, I built and tuned a bow. And my buddy Nick's birthday was Saturday night, and he was in town, so I went and spent like 3-4 hours with him.
Should have skipped it.
Nah. It was. I don't do that a lot. And I said, hey, if I'm in town, I'll come. I'll let you know. And I happened to be in town, so I spent a good 4 or 5 hours there. Got it done, but I don't have very many arrows in it currently. I've got like 20 arrows through that bow, maybe 30. But I shot 35 arrows yesterday when I got here. Got here, took the bow out, and shot some arrows.
At this point, with the way you guys decided to do the goofy ass tack shoot where you're picking, nobody expects very much.
I'm not worried about it.
Listen, I have a different plan for you for next year.
Okay, I know you do.
I have a different tack plan,
as I should. Although and it's just reps.
I don't want to move on from this though.
Yeah.
Congrats on the big freaking bear, dude.
Hey, congrats to you too, getting off the baby bear schneid.
I'll be back on it next year.
Oh, too good.
Man, yeah.
Oh.
Cinnamon or chocolate next year for me, I think, will be the plan.
Well, don't hunt where I was hunting because they're all black, period.
Yeah. And
it's all moisture-based.
And Manitoba is kind of known for off-color bears. Mm-hmm. And so that'll be the plan for next year, I think, unless it's a big black. Yeah. But it's funny, like you're just listening to you talk about it, like psychologically, you were like, I just want to leave tomorrow, and that's my big concern. And like just the difference again in just like whatever it is, experience.
Brandon, I've killed 20 bears.
I know, but it's just funny because again, like.
I don't even think about it anymore. But to me, it's something fun to do in the spring because I haven't gotten into turkeys, which I feel like I should because I feel like I'm disrespecting the people around here if I'm not taking turkeys moderately seriously.
Turkeys are boring as shit compared to bears.
I know. Hey, the new Tennessee law on that baiting's legal if you have private ground. Does that mean turkeys baiting's legal if you have private ground?
Well, I mean, what are you putting out? Like,
I don't know.
If I put out a corn feeder and the turkeys just happen to be coming and feeding, I would assume that like, what are you going to do? Turkeys, you got to go away. I'm just deer only. So,
well, but it'll be written in the law if whatever they're allowing for baiting. If it just says baiting's legal on private land,
that's
period.
More than
then
likely,
you can shoot a turkey over bait.
That's what's going to happen.
Sweet.
Like That's what's going to happen.
I'm not just saying what's going to happen, but what's legal.
Well, no, what I'm saying is
I'm
that has to be legal because what are they going to say?
Well,
it's legal to bait, but if a turkey comes in, you can't shoot it within a certain proximity of your bait?
Well, Washington used to be legal for baiting deer and elk, but you couldn't bait bear, cougar, or turkey. Like, specified it. So that's why I was saying it should be in the laws. So that's what I'm asking
then. So within a certain proximity of your bait, you were not allowed to hunt, you were not allowed to shoot a bear? Well, maybe it is going to be that way, and that's retarded.
Well, it just depends on how they write it. If they're just writing it that, hey, baiting's legal on private land, then it's legal for anything. But if it said baiting for deer or baiting for X or Y,
comment below if you're in Tennessee and you've read the new law. Comment below. I'm not going to hold you accountable as an attorney. I'm just curious to see what your interpretation. We'll
just go off of public input and not worry about the legalities of any of it.
That's not true. I don't even want to mess with that. I don't even want to get into the realm of like we're not actually looking into it, dude. We will look into it before we will do anything like that.
Period.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And then we will break those laws. I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding. Hey, I feel like we need to wrap this one up.
We do.
So is there anything else that you want to say about your big bear? What are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with the mount?
I haven't decided yet. They're tanning it to where I can do whatever I want. So the entire thing will be tanned.
Yep.
And then I can pick.
I really want it to be hanging from the tree.
I know you do. I know you do.
He might be too big, dude.
Yeah, I don't think he can. I might save that for a really cool looking, slightly smaller bear if I ever shoot a smaller bear.
I want you to shoot a cub, and we'll get a nice little, cute little cub up there.
Cute little cubby up there. Yeah. Well, why would I shoot it? We just take one of the ones you shoot.
That to me.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll see. He did have a white patch on his chest.
Yeah.
So immediately when I see that, I go, ooh, half mount on a wall to where it's sticking his chest out. Yep. Like that.
With the claws.
With the claws, but I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
You can still display them in a manner in which you see that on like a full mount or whatnot.
You have lots of those. You have lots of those kinds of things.
I know.
I have one mounted animal, full mounted animal, because I don't want the death cave. I don't like that look. So, but I'm doing full standing mount on this one, dude. Full standing mount.
He's gonna have a cigar in his fingers?
No, because I'm waiting on the claws to come back from next year that I literally have them making them into cigar holders.
That's awesome.
So ridiculous.
Too cool.
I know. I'm excited.
Oh, nice.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Again, thanks for watching on the we'll announce the name of the podcast in the next one, but we're also going to get everything up on no. Okay. Not this one. Then on the next one we will.
So tune into the next one to find out what this shit's called.
Exactly. Follow me, Brandon McDonald _archery at Instagram. Follow Josh at Podium Archer. Thank you very much for watching.